Configuration profiles provide an easy way to enforce restrictions, provide Wi-Fi access, certificates, pre-populate account information, and more. They are a primary management tool for iOS, iPadOS, and tvOS devices. My name is Nate. Welcome to Configuration Profiles for Devices. At their core, configuration profiles are XML files with a .mobileconfig extension that enforce settings on devices. Jamf Pro utilizes the Apple Push Notification Service, or APNS, to deploy these files. For more information about APNS, be sure to check out our video titled Apple Services. Configuration profiles can be created by navigating to the Devices tab in Jamf Pro and selecting Configuration Profiles in the sidebar. If you have existing configuration profiles, they can be added to Jamf Pro with the Upload button, but in this demo we're going to create our own, so let's select New. To the left is a list of payloads. Each of these provides security, functionality, or services for MDM-capable devices. One of the most important ways to secure device data is to ensure strong passcodes are enabled. In the general payload, let's name this Passcode Requirements. A description field is available below, which can help us remember or inform our fellow admins of what this configuration profile does. We can add this to a category. I'm going to put it in Security. At the bottom of the pane, we can determine whether to distribute this profile automatically, which will deploy it as soon as we click Save, or make it available in self-service for users to install on their own. I'm not sure my users will willingly install a restriction on their devices, so let's leave this at Install Automatically. Next, select the passcode payload. A number of switches and menus are available to granularly control how passcodes are handled on our users' devices. At the top, we can turn on the passcode requirement by clicking the Require Passcode switch. Depending on an organization's security needs, we can enforce complex passcodes, which require an alphanumeric value, set the minimum passcode length, let's set this to 6, set the maximum passcode age, which will require users to change their passcode after the duration in days, along with a few other options. Near the bottom, we can set the maximum number of failed attempts, and be careful with this one because, as the tooltip indicates, this is the maximum number of attempts before all data is erased. Once the payload is configured, select the Scope tab along the top. Scope defines who receives the profile. For more information on the concept of scope, check out our video, Device Scope. I like to test profiles on my device before sending them to my users, so I'm going to click Add to the right and find my device in the list. Pump up the Jamf. Click Add. Done near the top. And once everything looks good, click Save at the bottom. Back on my iPhone, I'm prompted to create a new passcode because my current one does not meet the requirements set by the configuration profile. We can see the profile itself by navigating to Settings, General, Device Management. Next, let's create a configuration profile to apply some restrictions. Navigate back to Configuration Profiles in Jamf Pro and click New. Let's name this General Restrictions and add it to the Security category. Next, select the Restrictions payload to the left and click Configure. Along the top are 3 tabs: iOS, tvOS, and iOS and tvOS. Some options are exclusive to iOS and iPadOS devices, some to tvOS, and some are shared between the platforms. Below these are Functionality and Applications tabs. There are a ton of options here to restrict devices, and it's as easy as selecting or deselecting the checkbox next to a feature. For example, deselecting Allow Use of Camera will deny users and apps access to the camera. This includes apps like Photos, Camera, FaceTime, and Messages. Notice as I scroll through the options, many of these have Supervised Only appended to the end. Supervision gives admins more control over devices and can be achieved with a pre-stage enrollment or Apple Configurator 2. For more info on pre-stages and supervision, check out our video, Automated Device Enrollment and Pre-Stage Enrollment. While we can deselect Allow Modifying Wallpaper, and it will work if devices are supervised. It will have no effect on enrolled devices that are not supervised. Let's scroll back to the top, select iOS and tvOS, and Applications in the second row. Here we can restrict apps. A common practice is preventing students from accessing the calculator. Simply select the menu, select Do Not Allow Some Apps, click Add to the right, and provide the name of the app, Calculator. Select the app from the list, and click the little Save to the right. Let's scope this to our test device again by selecting Scope along the top, Add to the right, find the device, select Add, and save the profile. Back on our device, I can no longer access the camera or the calculator. Let's create one more. Return to Configuration Profiles, select New, and provide a name. Call this West Coast Wi-Fi. I'm going to add this to the Utilities category and leave the distribution method at Install Automatically. Select the Wi-Fi payload to the left and click Configure. At the top, we must provide the network SSID. In my case, this is Portland Wireless. We can provide the password under security type as well. I'm using WPA, WPA2 Personal, so I'll select that from the menu, then enter and verify the password in the provided fields. Some payloads support multiple configurations in one profile. If we scroll back to the top, there's a little Add button in the top right. Selecting it will provide another set of fields below the first one, so we could configure Los Angeles Wireless in the same profile. Once everything's configured, select Scope, Add, and I'm going to add my test device again. Select Save, and back on my device under Profiles, we can view the two new network profiles available. If, for some reason, the profile failed to install, we could return to Jamf Pro and select Logs at the bottom of the profile page. Logs are records that will inform us whether an installation is successful, pending, or failed. In this video, notice we created 3 different configuration profiles, each with only one payload configured. We generally recommend keeping configuration profiles simple and separated. If a device starts behaving in an unexpected way, it's easier to troubleshoot when payloads are separated. In addition, removing, for example, a restrictions profile that also contains users' Wi-Fi access may leave them without the ability to connect to the internet, which means we can no longer send it management commands. That's all for the lesson on configuration profiles for devices. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.